Welcome to Fridka Quotes channel. This time I am bringing you quotes from legendary feminist Gloria Steinem. Let me know in the comments which is your favorite. And don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring quotes. Feed your mind. A feminist is anyone who recognizes the equality and full humanity of women and men. I began to understand that self-esteem isn't everything, it's just that there's nothing without it. The first resistance to social change is to say it's not necessary. Women have two choices, either she's a feminist or a masochist. In a general way, women become more radical as they get older. The pattern is that women are conservative when they're young. That's when there's the most pressure on us to conform, when we're potential child bearers and sex objects. And we lose power when we get older, which is a very radicalizing experience. Planning ahead is a measure of class. The rich and even the middle class plan for future generations, but the poor can plan ahead only a few weeks or days. America is an enormous frosted cupcake in the middle of millions of starving people. The truth is that all our problems stem from the same sex-based myths. We may appear before you as white radicals or the middle-aged middle class or black soul sisters, but we are all sisters in fighting against these outdated myths. Feminism has never been about getting a job for one woman. It's about making life more fair for women everywhere. It's not about a piece of the existing pie, there are too many of us for that. It's about baking a new pie. I assumed that I would have to marry the man I wanted to become. The first problem for all of us, men and women, is not to learn, but to unlearn. We are filled with popular wisdom of several centuries just past, and we are terrified to give it up. Dreaming, after all, is a form of planning. Revolutions that last don't happen from the top down. They happen from the bottom up. We've begun to raise daughters more like sons, but few have the courage to raise our sons more like our daughters. Any woman who chooses to behave like a full human being should be warned that the armies of the status quo will treat her as something of a dirty joke. She will need her sisterhood. I had this feeling of sudden unity. Something you think that has been only your experience, and maybe your fault, you suddenly realize is incredibly widespread. Men should think twice before making widowhood women's only path to power. Like art, revolutions come from combining what exists into what has never existed before. Childbirth is more admirable than conquest, more amazing than self-defense, and as courageous as either one. Once we give up searching for approval, we often find it easier to earn respect. We need to remember across generations that there is as much to learn as there is to teach. Don't think about making women fit the world, think about making the world fit women. When the past dies, there is mourning, but when the future dies, our imaginations are compelled to carry it on. Law and justice are not always the same. When they aren't, destroying the law may be the first step toward changing it. So what would happen if suddenly, magically, men could menstruate and women could not? Street guys would invent slang, "He's a three-pad man," and give fives on the corner with some exchange like, "Man, you lookin' good." "Yeah, man, I'm on the rag." The art of life is not controlling what happens to us, but using what happens to us. The future depends entirely on what each of us does every day. A movement is only people moving. Women are not going to be equal outside the home until men are equal in it. Power can be taken, but not given. The process of the taking is empowerment in itself. If you are not a feminist, male or female, you are looking at the world with one eye open. When I was hosting the Today Show, I had a little fat removed from above my eyes so I didn't look like Mao Zedong and I could wear my contacts. It looked worse afterward. When we started to get serious opposition, I thought we were getting somewhere. From now on, no man can call himself liberal or radical or even a conservative advocate of fair play, if his work depends in any way on the unpaid or underpaid labor of women at home, or in the office. If you say, "I'm for equal pay," that's a reform. But if you say, "I'm a feminist," that's a transformation of society. A pedestal is as much a prison as any small, confined space. We'll never solve the feminization of power until we solve the masculinity of wealth. A liberated woman is one who has sex before marriage and a job after. It's not so good when we say to kids, "You can be anything you want," because it's not true. Much better to say, "You should be able to be anything you want." The truth will set you free, but first it will piss you off. A woman reading Playboy feels a little like a Jew reading a Nazi manual. If the shoe fits, mustn't we change the foot? I know that I have wasted time repeating things I already knew what to do, or doing what I was told instead of what I hoped for or what I wanted. Since time is all there is, I would say wasting it is the biggest loss. I have yet to hear a man ask for advice on how to combine marriage and a career. For women, bras, panties, bathing suits, and other stereotypical gear are visual reminders of a commercial, idealized feminine image that our real and diverse female bodies can't possibly fit. Without these visual references, each individual woman's body demands to be accepted on its own terms. We stop being comparatives. We begin to be unique. I never wanted to be a politician or elected person myself, so I love to work for other women who did and hope that more girls will do that. The problem is the feeling that we're divided from politics, that our vote doesn't count or what we do doesn't count. In fact, everything we do counts. Writing is the only thing that when I do it, I don't feel I should be doing something else. Being married is like having somebody permanently in your corner. It feels limitless, not limited. On my 70th birthday I was going to get a tramp stamp. I've been using my torch to light other people's torches. Because the whole idea that there's only one torch is part of the reason why we're so f***ed up. Everybody needs a torch. Thank you for watching. If you got inspired, leave me a like and feel free to subscribe. Thank you again and see you soon. Bye.